Good afternoon, wonderful viewers. You know, we try to do this, but unfortunately, it is not successful because of why our levels are not the same. So if you are trying to grab some people, you have to struggle to get there. But honestly speaking, this episode is the best episode you will ever have on our and we ever going to have on our players journey program. Because we're not having just a Gambian level crew, but we're having an international crew, someone who represents Gambia in all levels. You understand? So I am little bit excited and nervous because someone you used to watch on TV all around now, the person is sitting before you. You're going to question the person about his progress. I don't know. So we're gonna do it this way. We will mix and blend both and then Mandinka and English. We're gonna do the Gambian language thing because we can't choose one language. There are people that might not be understanding what we are saying. They have interest in it as well. So just in a summary, we are having you Abubakar Steve Tarawale.
In Mbarama.
Welcome to the platform.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure having you because then you facilitate everything easier on all more and we're really grateful for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You actually you don't need introduction in Gambian sport. You can't say okay, introduce yourself. That is going to be very wrong and it's going to be an insult to your name. You understand? Because your face is already known and your name is already known.
True.
You understand? You have proved yourself across.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is that say hi to our viewers because it's your first time on our platform.
Yeah, I mean, saying hi to each and everyone that's watching the show, and obviously it's an honor to be here and talking to you guys. You know, try to share my story as well, inspire the next generation, hopefully from this interview that we're about to do. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate you also accepting our invitation. So straightforwardly, and we know that you have dropped and then a documentary about your own passing levels, like how you gradually move, understand, from Gambian boy to international star, you understand. So, but then for some of my people that Gambian people, I understand those that are into football will get to watch it, but some maybe they might not get to watch football stuff like that. We're not saying you introduce yourself on the, but we just want to know maybe where Steve for. We all know Steve. Bundula Musaneka. Those are things so they So like where is Steve's originality? Let's start from there. Because you wanna pick from your hook to cook.
Yeah, so I was born in Bunu, around the Marcas. You know, I was born 10th November 1994. And that's where everything started.
So you're also part of the Second Republic.
Right.
Yes. So when I know your originality, when you say they're from Bondo, most people are for that. More money, you understand? They all come from Bondo. So where is Steve originally from? They can also be proud that pro bottom corner.
Yeah, and nobody won't go, you know. Nobody would know that. That's where my dad came from, and my mom came from Samba. Yeah.
No wonder. I think Buffalo. No wonder. This is the fact. Buffalo. So basic grow. So this is the reality. Yeah. So we know, and then Bundu life growing. Moment or whoever is born in Bundu, we know you to be into that lifestyle because near 4 settlers will give you count Bundu there. So let's say how was the childhood life in Bundu for Steve?
It was fun, to be honest, because it used to be a crowded neighborhood. So I think that's why you came to my house today. You've seen, you know, that's why I'm used to having people around me because that's how I grew up. You know, whether you're poor or rich, every one of us was just happy to be together. So, I mean, my childhood was fun. You know. Playing football as well on the streets, you know. They are start Walter, so.
Karanda Sota.
Yeah, Karanda Sota. Just to have it moving, just to kick something, you know. So that's where it all literally started.
Yeah, I hope you're not that type of people when they enter in the box, they will not leave.
No,
many are going to come like, you do not corner. Mobeka how you come like cut that box where you play box, you'll be indoor, people will be circling you, kicking anyone who catch it, then you go. In. Hope if you go in, you're not those people that would trouble people.
No, I was cool. I was not a bad boy, I think.
So because model you don't
Kumbola of Kefa.
Full day can
You know.
That was a nice one. Yeah. So and what is that memorable childhood life in Bungan that you can forget when you said Steve? And you know no moment but because it was so joyful because our friends all alive for you.
Yeah, I think growing up not that was very strict with education, so playing football was, having the chance to play football was always a privilege for me. It's like, ninga opportunity in sort of I try to have as much fun as I can. So Nintata Filoto, everyone talks about how good I am and everything, but then you have to also focus on the education as well, But I would say the greatest memories I have of Bundung is Filoto Jolakunda. That was literally my home. Whenever I have the opportunity to get out of the house, that's where I am. Yeah.
That's a nice one. So now talk about the education aspect. We'll come back a little bit about the graduate people, but now take us through your education career.
Yeah, so I went to Nyakwe Nursery School, also in Bundung. And from there, I went to Serakunda Primary. Then for 6 years, being a primary school bank. Then I went to Charles Jow, did the exams, and then it was good. So I went to Ndaus as well for senior school. So that was literally it. After graduating, obviously my dad wants me to further. At that point, I'm like, nah, it's about chasing the dream now. You can't for grade 12. That's what you wanted. I've given you that. So now it's about me chasing my dream. But me and Marco Fanang, whilst I was going to school, clubs were already coming to my house to try to get me. So my dad kind of have an idea that I must be a good player, So I think Wofanaya is in the because maybe Nimmo Mananum and stuff. About Mirala, it's just fun and stuff. But covering Mitak and grade 12, that's when I played second division with Serakunda East. So I was going to school and Ninga times I play. So I was not even playing regularly, but the couple of games that I played, that's when really Banjo saw me.
No, yeah,
Exactly.
So if they're watching, even if it's gonna be a few matches of yours, they obviously know that you have something.
Yeah, exactly.
So now let me just retrieve you back a little bit. Let's say before that we start giving you permission or allow you to go and play a few games when you have time. There's that moment that you might be sneaking around to go and play football.
Yeah.
Maybe at the level of Naita Zonas or just low level groundwater scientist. Not in childhood, but not also in that much adult level.
Start. So in entire school Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday, nyanda warga players on that what the problem was that So now mom is a very big football fan. So I learned a exam pass so she helped to keep it balanced, So there was a time Nyantatala played our rivals in Bundung were Sub B and Injola Kunda Badamusi Botadame. So Nini will play you don't want to miss that game, Yeah, and like I'm the star also from my neighborhood. It's like I have to go. So sometimes I'm ending on Alabama and I'm a mommy's boy, so it makes it easy. So there was a time Nyanta played a name shop B and I have to go to Dara. Bamale Fencode na Samotodina over the fence. So I dressed up like I'm going to Dara, then na bagas will be bago. I be explain about my meet a game moment play and stuff. About my na bagas will dinner over the fence. Saying Nyanta Silomen Dara Purukara Filo. dara nyimbe wolto na ustaz hu jaw ya da bakelen so akalo le nin time kana si akalo like dara bunda so atebe damen to face kan junction it's like from here to that junction nta nyanta tambila wol so abe lorin je sa en boyol je men ken teammates ibe rangtale e pour yala view nyim block so ibe rangta wala nyamante nata da manta ma tebe ko dada play yara enjet bi muta nam ko to amuzo ko nyiko ustaz nata ba explain kay be yot kanya ndi pour kata I have explain when so many nata I'm like dada play ta so man nata en bute that's fine as long as I played and won. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, because Niajibe at that point in time, and those are the funds because you come for football element. Now I remember even the childhood time we make soto and improve. These are the king in the neighborhood. If you don't have a football, you must be a pro for everyone to celebrate. Exactly. I can relate. I can actually relate how they fully are. So that was a very nice moment, and then the Morilla side. So let's come into a little bit of time when I decided, okay, they want me to do education. And I see that I'm doing it for fun, but I'm potential in it. So how was that for you to sit and decide that, okay, I want to pursue this over my education, even though I'm doing good at academics?
Yeah, I always felt like I've gone up to grade 12, so you can study even when you're 70 years old. I think the foundation is the most important thing. So bring out so that I feel like, I can go for this. If it doesn't work out in 5 years, I can come back and continue the education. So but it was still not easy, but I had to be stubborn a little bit. So that I'm gonna go for this. So I kept pushing during the second division team where nobody wunka pari near fatakoyo during really not and nakorra kono pari when you meet with real the banjul and stuff. I think ole koni easy. Granada so kono then ikachata and they felt like pari when you start ka serious cause wato na kon bura bije bura samga mama tebekela dinno sego bura lo no yeah bura telen samga la captain otin wato samga be samga be academy start kan in a first division otin so atelen like ntolbela like a mentor like an idol cause ntela so kono ko to make o ani itolle kam so campaign mbenu na so kono so it's like you see bura every day going from training back home and stuff being invited to under 20 and all that shit. So Bura was like that inspiration for us. But unfortunately, with all the qualities that he had, among turned pro. Because football of an along hard day for Nambije.
Yeah, that's right.
So not that na candidate diamo candidate na I haven't for the Bura by football. Obviously, no. So muna na ite ya mira ko ibekela pro ti Bura man ke pro. Bura na la Johnny Len then na Johnny Len. I'm just gonna believe in what I can do and go for it. So at that point, you know what, the good thing is as well, the first year that I joined Real de Banjul, after I think a couple of weeks training, I had a trial with Diego in Senegal. That was Saint Etienne in France, the feeder club in Senegal, Diego. I had a trials with them. So things started moving fast, Then that year along, okay, this is serious, so I don't have a choice but to support him, And Kotoma for now, Atabe still in Scotland, and what have Germany, Ateleka Samotos and everything. They were playing and never done for Nasamotol Bake and told SFAJ. So, so I was being prepared properly, I had everything, like all the materials to play football. I had all the support from na sister soul, na brother soul. They don't miss my games and stuff. My dad watched me the first time, Brindokoma 4-day broker. So Ngamajo Sotojola Kuna, he was like, I'm gonna come see. And then that was the first time I NGB the football play, and it was like, you're actually good, but 40 by football.
So now let's talk about that. How did you feel like that is when you pick outside watching me for the first time? Like, how was that on you, inspiration and mentally on your side?
Yeah, I think it was one in my head. I have to prove to him that I'm actually a very good player.
Because if you don't do that day,
yeah, if I was shit there, it was gonna be the end of it. So, but it was a good feeling that, and now all of a sudden, it was on a Sunday. Amanta do kola kombatunga aljibe, and then it was like a motivation for both me and my younger brother as well for the. And we played a very good game. My dad was happy, then you feel proud. So I start coming to I can take a false letter, but for the football.
That was a nice moment. That was a nice moment. I remember a moment in a dream that for your parents to sit and watch you play.
For sure, for sure.
That was a great inspiration, and I think that would be something that will push you more into delivery. Let's come into fast forwardly you moving into life. But then before reaching there a little bit, we want to know like how many years do you spend in the return level before moving to divisions? Because most Gambian players, or some of them, they are so much relaxed during at American level.
Yeah.
You play 3 years, 4 years at American level, you still stop there. So how did you move from American to there?
I think for more players Jamal Navetano la career tinya. Because some players they just love the ambience and everything, For me it's all about the work, Even if you see with BST now, idiamutale for badada puru fan club or coming team dol coming case saborol kosiba. That's not my thing, So for me, Navetano, that fan club side was not among Kemenkang excited. For me it was like it's an opportunity to prove myself and take the next step. So I didn't even play Navetan for so long. I think I played in the first year. I was in grade 11. I was going to school. So I was in and out. Second year, I played full Navetan. Then I got selected to the zonals. I scored against Gunjur 2 goals inside Brikama. I can remember. After that full Navetan, that was the year that I played for Serekunda East. So after that full Navetan, the following season when Real Banjul came, then I said, na level Tambita Navetan. So I'm not going back there.
So let me just bring you back to what that memory. I know that must be a very great memory of your 2 goal of Bundame. Or Jimo Benung, avec la rival or a very context game. Kabiru Yol Boom, we know Navetan level of atmosphere. So how was it when you like
No, it was nice. That was the zonal actually. Yeah, against Gunjur, it was nice because being young, you invite zonal auto. It's a momo tata Navetan play wale kakela target tipuru yatara zonal team auto. So scoring for Serekunda against Gunjur when we were losing 1-0 in the first half. Kanula almost scored. So it was like a good feeling that the whole Serekunda zonal is even bigger than the league or whatsoever in Gambia. So the atmosphere is crazy. Scoring 2 goals. Paba Jinyo level play can Melia long con Waton Dekateji and Imburabe play and then Ningal be feel and being the one to save them in that game was a great feeling. It was a top one.
I know that moment you'll be thinking, no, is it me? Like the way I'm thinking right now. Is it actually Steve that I'm having this conversation with? You understand? So then yes, so just if you're tuning in, we're right now with Steve Abo Tarawale. No need to introduce who he is, because everyone has known. The episode is called The Player's Journey. We're trying to take him along his career season by season to have. I know we're gonna take his time because
it's cool. I cancel my gym session today in the afternoon for you, so it's cool.
Wow. Yeah, you know, actually, he canceled his gym session for us today. This is really great. Yeah, really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So then to move fast forward a little bit. Yes, Steve, because I'm kind of doing this interview in a way that taking you through your career, while those that are watching aspiring to be where you are or even surpass you, to have a guideline on their steps to take. Most footballers will say, I am still young, because you said the ambience aspect of at American level, but sometimes the age gap also is too young to go in the division level. What age did Steve move, or what age do you think that someone should move to? Or do you think is it even necessary for a team to move to division?
It doesn't necessary, to be honest. For me, I think near football no there's no age. We have a proper example in front of the whole world, Lamine Yamal, So for me, age doesn't matter as long as you're quality and you're not scared to express yourself. think you can play. If you look at BST Galaxy as well, Bakary Jammeh from Brikama, I think he's the youngest player in the league, but he's not scared. So for me, it's like, because I remember the next season over start in the friendly games, he was doing so good. They want to make me believe that he's too young to play the league, but nah. There is like namu didn't know but not and you know he can go. Yeah. So for me, I think age doesn't really matter in football. It's just the mindset that's more important. If you feel like you are ready, you can do it. Because Birimita can real Watu Interior Ben Noma Kang Samga and other clubs. I remember I met the then interior coach, Ibrahim Mane. At Serakunda is nawetanu time untata majibe wala akonye ko ngana interior nkai kono akonye ngamo ile real be bulake noma akonye ko but ni tata real mula ile bije aning Musa Bala aning malo nyuma ite play la naja nkai ko ile ndia mula tinanda bidaria. Yeah, I love it. And I went to Real, and then from the first game till when I left, I was first choice.
Amazing. You know, sometimes people say, and then your ability alone does not push you. It's your confidence and belief in yourself.
Yeah.
Your self-belief is also something that is very important. So now, your first year in the division, how was it?
It was good, actually. We were a very young team. You know, that was the year Real de Banjul wanted to move from old Real de Banjul to a young marketing team and stuff. So we started that batch. Stars from every zone. It was like high level. Like every position is like high level. So it's like, it was a good competition, you know, but pre-season time, you know, that's when Kuatole Alashar Fananati, the assistant coach of the national team, I don't know if he's still the assistant or not. But yeah, I tell him so it was like a fresh start for everyone to prove themselves, and that was an advantage for me that was coming in, because obviously already told from Bambandije. So now that the same coach maybe he's gonna there will be an edge ahead of me. But we all came fresh. We have to prove ourselves, and that was good, you know. I remember on the first test game sort of in Ziguinchor against Casa Sport. That was when I just said, yeah, this is my place.
Yeah,
a game of play, you know, first game for Real de Banjul, friendly game, and then Casa Sport Galvin had a few you know, just that was like a big moral boost for me. And after that, it was like we were flying through the season. The first 3 games was difficult, you know, it was a new project. I think we lost 1 and draw 2. And then already, it really not after change. No only we do work in the time, you know, in dinding all and stuff, ligo in dimital. So, Nakoyo Nata from he believes in us young players. But now, the management is having doubts, so we have to prove that we are ready for this. That was the 3rd game against Sports. I remember in Banjul, Jikata was playing. Ite Jikata fanalon no. Ite Jikata fanalon na. Hamza Bari was in Ports. It was crazy. They had a whole squad, like proper squad. It was in Bakau. So it was the game for us to also change the narrative and make them believe that we can actually do it. So it was a tough game, but we ended up winning 1-0. So from that game, I think we were unbeaten until the last game of the league, or second to last, and Brikama United took the league that year. So we competed with them and we finished 2nd.
Nice one. So like from that was your moral for you.
Yeah.
When you have a complete team that there's nothing that is missing out, you're able to get a win from them, you are like, you can beat anything.
Yeah, from there, it was like everything changed from there.
And about this, you say a lot of teams right now are struggling with that, living in the old age than the younger ones. You said you guys were the first to set that for Real de Banjul. Now let's assume, before we continue in your own career, let's assume that someone that is into coming in the division right now, will you advise the person to invest into the younger age, like you said, or to mix it? Or how do you narrate that?
I think Yalan wato ligo nying cable Seattle and in Navetano because before, now if you play a certain number of games in the league, you cannot play Navetan. Before it was open. You can play all the games in the league and you can still play Navetan. So it was like both were very, very competitive. Like all the players in the league are playing Navetan, all the players in the Navetan are the ones playing the league. So what we didn't know, but now looking at the football, and with all these age cheating scandal melkake on the internet, tubabol they have it in a hakilol konoko ntol kana sanjol change hanima change from in their head we Africans, all Africans do age cheating, which is not true. So now if they want a player from Africa, in their head they're looking at you like you tell them you are 18, in their head they're looking at you at like you're 22, 23. And if you're 22, 23, it's like it's so difficult to develop. The brains are not the same. It's not the same. So aka chances all fanang difficult. Aka talaba So if you are a club owner or you want to get into the first division, I would say just do a good scouting of young players and just believe in them. It can be very challenging, because team don't budget all in cable at all. They don't care about they don't have like a project or a plan. They just want to play, win the league, have that title with them. But me personally, I'm different. I'm a club owner as well, so I'm different. But everyone, everyone has their plan. I don't know what theirs is, but if you have a goal, you have to arrange your team according to that. So Momo Nala goal, and some clubs maybe to a goal just to win the league, celebrate, and that's it. And for me, it's like giving opportunity, bringing these young players, try to market them and everything.
And I think we come to a point whereby we break that down. You understand? So to fast forward the things, because time might not be on our side, we have a lot to touch on. As let's talk about your transition from Gambian pro player to national pro, like how did you international pro, like how did you get to sign pro level?
Yeah, from
what year was it? How many years did you spend in divisions before the now?
Yeah, so I played for Real de Banjul 4 seasons. So after the first 2 seasons, the last 2 seasons, I was the top scorer in the league. And the last season as well, I was joint top scorer. So the last 2 years of my career with Real de Banjul, there was so much attention because I used to be a midfield player. I was being top scorer from the midfield. It's like you must be really good. That's like a big plus. So there was so much attention for me, but it was difficult. I was one of the players that were very unlucky when it comes to visa applications and stuff. I faced a lot of challenges, both locally here with the national teams under 17 and stuff, and then with the visa applications as well, because I was with under 17 that went to, I don't know, Rwanda or something, African Cup. I trained with them. I got dropped. I went to play for the zonals friendly game against the pros that were here on holiday. Paul Put was the coach by then. Smashed them. Paul Put said they have to invite me again. So they're going to invite me when they're back from the first leg. So they were playing against, I think, Tunisia or something. So I couldn't invite. So Tata, Inata, Tunisia, ila winga he was really good. I guess he disturbed them. So he invited them for 2 days when they were doing the tactical work for me to play as the winger from Tunisia, a game plan or that. Then, but still, I was not good enough to be in your squad. So how am I good enough to play that as that winger that disturbed you? It doesn't make sense, But what Gambia wale nima most of the it's difficult. Ibukatara in selection or kono niman. Ni fama ma mo long wala iman koto ke soto wala ibe ubota zone men to serekunda is obri kama imam mo long. Aka difficult le puru ya me yes squad o me. So 2 days all kono I trained with them in the stadium, killed them. Ikoni qualified, then even invited her. That was the end of it.
You know, like
Well, it doesn't make sense.
You have a long story with the federation, so I want to bring that a part of it. So, after Kendall career to professional or first time when they start up to professional level, then the later session the federation of it because you have a long history.
No, I'm just talking about the difficulties before I went pro. You know, so.
Yeah.
So I got dropped from that under 17 because I was not good enough to be in the squad, but I was good enough to play as the Tunisian winger, which doesn't make sense. So then the last 2 seasons, I had Nafos chance was to go to Sweden with Timber, the defender, Bubasani. And then we applied, Yamor reject. Then the second opportunity to Norway, Tata Ghana and applied for the visa, we got rejected again. And then I had another one from Spain, Real Mallorca. I got rejected again.
So the moment, like, how was it for you getting 3 chances and
it was
because of visa?
Yeah, for me, I think not faith for I have good faith in Allah or whatever happens in life. You know, what will man see? But not reward rejection will be not second and third one. No boy do like that. Bama be stay in Dakar. Anga de call. Anga ko ne. Iko na passport pa ida. Mbe tempo saf for avida vile mfanya di power of attorney. Yet na passport ko. Ni a colleague ya fanya after emuna. Antu mukan la fimka for like. Nga na ben reject la. But you know what? Go and pick it up for me. I'm going to training. So I didn't let it affect me. You know. Regardless of what rejection will be, I was still smashing the league. Sometimes, you just get up on a bad day at our train. You know, maybe do stupid stuff, kick the balls out and stuff. You know? Well, that's just frustration. It happens, but it doesn't stop me from continue working hard. So I think the rejection will sort of can, regardless, because what time of Gambia, you barely see agents coming to the country. So we just believed, and I kept believing that, it was going to come, and when it comes, it's going to happen, Yeah.
It's a nice one. So when it comes, finally, I get a Steve Sarah into international pro. So now before touching that side, let's talk about the federation's gradual level of stakeholder. You understand, up to this now, there are footballers, even the last under 17, you're saying back then maybe selection of a problem, but now you'll get to see the people who say that you should not start this person should start, but you choose to this one because the last under 17 Tata, the half of the squad is from one academy, and the head coach or whatever is associated with that academy. You understand? So you also facing that. Let's see, how do you see this killing the dreams of footballers? Federation of Meronka is only connection that moves you, not your ability.
Yeah, I think football konka for the new nyame football ka play cabinet ka play sal bale kon mobe ajibe, whether he right call ke or not, ntolbe member ligo jibe kan all these academies and stuff, ntolbe alone mel nyanta kataraje, but like you said, academic affect because not everyone it's a mentality monster like me or you, or, some it can damage some people, like when you take them to a national team setup after a year drop, but if they drop and they're seeing that Yemen Tao, they're far better than them, like they know that in jail, it can kind of disturb them mentally. It's a give up no ya for jam corruption so ntita haninga try for it and tal. So I think football should be fair, more disaster, more opportunity in disaster, and because it's gonna kill a lot of kids. It can build some, but it can kill a lot as well, because more be la mentality man can killing.
That's nice. That's a very nice and strong word. So we've seen you perform across Europe, Asia, you perform. You understand? You from Kankula dunia better. So now, for the whole of like, when the Kankula for national side was like, we need to call him because now it's no offside. A lot of people understand. On the 17, but now we need him. If you don't like it, we must bring him in the squad.
Yeah.
Understand? When was the moment he commanded, and how was the reach out to you?
I think My first call up was it was big, to be honest. It was against Cameroon, all these big names. So it was my first year as a professional player. So during first call up on Yinketa, I think there was an international break in March, Mantaranunje, because Naligo in China started in March. So, I had a very good season, scored 17 goals in 26 games.
Amazing.
So I think, come ngafo nyame earlier, to football ka play dula sal bale kono, ni cool ke ita manyana from penkela from. You don't have to worry. The people out there will fight for you. So until a call up is like the whole Gambia wanted me to come. They wanted me called. So it's like whether you like it or not, as a coach, you have to bring me at that point because I was scoring week in, week out, So I got my first call up against Cameroon. It was crazy. It's one of the best days of, the game day is one of the best days of my career. One of, not the number one, to be honest, but yeah, it's one of, because day before flying to the camp, I know you've seen the famous Rabona goal, so I scored that goal the day before I fly out to the national team camp. So before that as well, when I was called up, like there was so much hype about it, everyone wanted me to be here. Yeah, so I was also in the mood. Then I scored the crazy Rabona, and then so I came to the national team with that goal, in a good mood and everything. So when I was making my debut, it was a rainy day. Gambia against Cameroon, we lost 1-0. When I was coming in the second half, Samabe Busakang, the whole stadium was up for a young kid from playing in China, you know that feeling. It was I couldn't believe that more baby we would telling that was a great feeling for me. So it's one of the days that I will never forget. My debut for the national team in the stadium. I had the privilege to play in the stadium, not some players haven't had the privilege yet because of but I had the privilege to make my debut in the stadium.
That was a very nice one. That was a very nice one. So that moment, I remember I was even one time a big advocate for you to have a playing time, because it's not only about the ability or whatever, it's the spirit and the hunger for the national side. Because what I usually tell people is I was this point in time that they were saying you aren't scoring goals even if you come for the national team. I was like, the impact is more than the goals. If he comes in to score directly, but Jim will automatically change. You understand that inspiration? That's what I prefer than the coach. So that was me and the girls having that hulu about you. But like you that is playing and that notion is there. The whole country support you. They want you in. But maybe the coach or the system that fights you still when you're young, now they're taking the excuse of you not scoring for them. How was that for you as a player?
Yeah, I think like you said, there's more to football than just coming and scoring goals. It's a teamwork, everyone brings something to the team, together we achieve the goals. So regardless, like you said, I wasn't scoring. I didn't score early with the national team. It was difficult. I also wanted the goal so bad for myself and for my family, of course, because it would be a good feeling to score for your country. So, but I never had any stress about it, to be honest. Knowing me, I'm very carefree. Like you see me, like you come to my house, you don't know I'm the owner of the house or whatsoever. For me, it's like everything is normal for me. So for me, most of the time, internet you will see some negative people, you will see some positive people, but luckily for me, the positives were more than the negatives. So the negatives,
everyone was a stick fan.
Yeah, everyone wanted to see me play because I think the reason why I had that because I played in the Gambia for 4 years and everyone saw what I was doing, So I think I already had a big fan base whilst I was playing in the league here, If you look at the documentary, like Willie mentioned, people would come just to watch me play with Real de Banjul. So it was like, I'm a different kind of player, I like to make the crowd enjoy the game. So it's like...
That's real because some point in time, people I remember when you get to somewhere like you wish and then Minty and Steve to be in the same time. Yeah, that's why you see that competition like it will be firing. This one will be there, this one will be there. You see, those are all things that people used to say. But now let's talk about you as a footballer. You understand? You played in the national side. There are difficulties that you guys encounter. Before you leaving, before me going to that side, so let's say during you there, what are some of the problems that the footballers face inside the federation that they scared to talk about, which are 100% abnormalities now that you are no longer in a football?
I mean, playing for the national team is a big sacrifice for
this is
us.
important for you to elaborate because a lot of fans insult and then footballers and they say a lot of words without knowing what they are putting.
We sacrifice a lot. I think the national team players should be thanked. I think they're not giving their flowers as much as they should because playing for Gambia is a big sacrifice, to be honest. Because both financially and mentally, Nina Tajang, it's like when we're in Gambia, obviously we go to the good hotels and stuff, but when we travel out, then it can be challenging, and Johnny Nyimfanang, instead of able China, Morocco, Dubai, Morocco, Gambia, they're gonna send you cheap tickets, So at the start, it can be very challenging. Along come bastard, ticket we use. I need out of way to that. What time we can cool control and your ticket was in change it to this. But playing for the Gambia is really a sacrifice because one, every other country they fly business class. We fly economy. And then you camp allowance, maybe it will not come on time, but you are still spending your own money. Then you go for away games or even home games. Maybe you don't have any fruits in the locker room or some is that banana nati minimum fresh one, and we need that, like the basic things were always lacking, the proper things, materials or like the footballers need them, were lacking. So new time at away games. I remember in Benin we went day before the game, Dolme Kufa. Because Timoning, local base all Seattle Jele were game because Sandong was the coach, he's in Gambia, so he brought in players from the league. I think Xavi, who plays for TMT, was there. Mars, the central defender from Hawks, was there. It was a lot of home-based players. So science, bring water free of Lanata. Pomponing hotel near Gio Yela Hamunta, Yani Samakata Gio and Kabori Bandaben Nori Nyama. Abe Nori Wanyama. So Dolbije was a bidon also like avian, Tol Lama Soul, avian also, and Geralo, John Kunkuno Akadem, Ebalo, Dolbije. Or camp allowance ning or jiketa wala puruka murunang and give it to their families. So waltita avian bottles and puruke wala, they would rather go to bed like that. So imagine some people go to bed a night before the game not being fresh. How can you sleep when you're from training? And you have to put
on the chassis to send the country like
exactly. And I think one of my first problems was after that game, when we landed at the airport, the interview, I think that was one of my first problems with the people that were running the system. Yeah. Because knowing me, I don't care. I don't care about the consequences. Like, as long as it's football related, among them, it's totally fine, You're going to select me because I'm good, or you're going to drop me because I'm not good. If you drop me for something else, that's your problem. That's not my problem. So I remember after that game when we landed, the journalists wanted to push and talk about the team not playing good. And I had to mention that, we should be thankful we lost 1-0 with an own goal, because we went to bed last night and some players didn't shower before the game. How do you expect them to be fresh? We are lucky that we didn't go smash. I think that's when my problem started.
Because you speak
you know,
with
in,
facts.
in Africa they hate it when you are outspoken. They find you as a threat, and I think that has been my problem all along. They think I'm too smart or too fearless to say whatever is not going right. Yeah.
And I think that's what we need in the system in order for them to change. You understand? Because if we don't have footballers to come out and speak in that way, it's going to affect them a lot. Because and then I remember there was this point in time that I personally wrote an opinion statement where the president or the outgoing president has to go and offer an interview outside to clarify or to try and debunk it. Because I called the footballers to boycott the federation, boycott the nation, let us get banned. It's better than putting their lives at risk. I highlight a point of Morocco incident, the aircraft incidents, and stuff like that. But now, to you as a player that was inside, you know the system that was in there. When some of these incidents happen, do it get you by surprise?
Not really, not really. To be honest, I think the Morocco incident, I would say that's yeah. So it was not like the hotel just went down. It was like a national thing. So that I cannot blame the federation, but obviously the AFCON incident with the flight and everything, I think, that was a bit careless from their side, I don't know if Malum for plane or plane control not whatsoever, but I don't know what the problem was, but I think,
obviously that's going to be a good plane because looking at maybe a member budget, knowing that okay, they take people to hotel or Malinka said before they were maybe Conco Alwansol Kali, they take you to a hotel that are expensive now they graduate to air step.
But that's very risky, I think that was careless from their side.
It could have been a national disaster.
Yeah, but knowing Gambia and everything, it's not like you said. If it's a surprise, no, it's not. It's not a surprise, because I think us national team players were not respected enough, because after that incident, yeah, the players. So I'm not saying the players that continued don't respect themselves, but the ones that really think they value themselves, they stopped coming, because after that, I know a couple of players that didn't come again, because obviously football everybody in so I think that was I wasn't part of the group, so I cannot say much. I don't know what happened there, but I think it was a bit careless if it came from their side.
That's right. And then so to just draft you into one of the two sessions about that before I will go to your club as a club owner side. That is, there was this point in time. Even some of your fans were mad at you.
Yeah,
so the point. So even some of your fans were mad at you. So we would love to take this opportunity to clarify. That's why I said let's kill a time won't be back. You understand? Because a lot of things Steve interview grand back here can clear out. So if you have the opportunity, if it's gonna be an hour's thing, let's just do it. Even it's gonna be part, we air it for people to understand. Then a misconception or maybe more can continue. You've been outspoken for the national side, speaking for the players aside. Muna sabu Steve into like I don't say it is a tapale injury. Don't say it is because I'm not playing time so that can part wall. As a lot don't say and could misunderstanding. So people don't know. So let's speak Steve himself. Tell us what was the real reason.
Yeah, for me, to be honest, I think I will give you the privilege of talking about this for the first time, because to be honest, I don't care, like, what the people that really know me and the people that were there, like the players, they know what happened. So if I made a whole statement about the whole situation, so I read banter and you think I'm lying, that's your problem. The people that really matters knows what happened, and for me, that was all that matters. But to be honest, I was injured before the game. I had the injury in Dubai, I was with an ankle. And I have an alibi. Suleiman Maridu we were in the same room. Normally, so it's like Dennis Solmar were in the same room. So he had problems with his knee. I had problems with my ankle. So every day in train banter, Dr. Onyinka eyes na straight. So Solman knows that I was playing with pain. You know, I train and then I navy ngana atayala ni sitting there and uncle sitting and small nga kacha for some batata. So it was like it was there, but obviously this is an opportunity. That was the first time Gambia qualified to the AFCON. You never know if it's gonna come again or not. You don't want to miss that, you know. So I mean, even players in the league sometimes you game rule you banama you from force just to play because it's that game or it's that tournament. Yeah, so I went there injured, you know, but I wanted to play. I wanted to play. So when I didn't play the first game, but I'm still training and it's getting swollen every 2 days after training, but I didn't play the second game. I had to talk to myself, like, I'm training, I'm hurting myself to play, but I'm not playing. Is it worth taking more risk and get more injured or going back and do treatment? And at the end of the day, you know, it's about me, you know. During the struggle of a start like in Bunung and all that shit, no one was there, you know. As a football player, first it's about you, and then, you know, obviously it's a pride playing for your country and everything, but the most important thing is you. So at that point, I had to decide for me, not for, obviously, my fans. Everyone would have loved to see me play, but, you know, sometimes, you know, there are certain decisions you have to make for yourself. And at that point, I felt like I had to make a decision for me, and I felt the right decision was to go back and do treatment. Hence, I'm not having game time, which is the reason I'm making all this sacrifice. I might as well go back and do my treatment. That was about it.
Thank you so much. I think this is a very clear one. You know, everyone would have been taking your side.
Yeah, because people thought like me and Tom. Tom is literally one of my best friends, you know, still now.
Oh, up to now?
Yeah.
Oh, people thought like you're not cool with Tom at all.
Yeah, I mean, the starting, you know, and Tom bidding about interview Kela talking about Steve is playing in China and all that, you know, the other interview Kela, I'm a midno.
Okay.
So I think that was maybe what he was fed. Bida nata. Yeah, well,
the system.
This I don't know. Well, bida nata ye wale dunda kungokono. Because I remember until the first game coming back again, you know, I was in the national team before Tom, didn't Tom Nata, the whole problem started with China, playing in China, and, you know, so the first time I decided to go like, it was not just me, Solmar, Hamza, Modu Baro, and I don't know, the fifth guy. But I until they invited
There was a time that they said, you people, you are the set of people who decided to boycott the federation, that, I don't know, something are not going right. They invite you, refuse to come. That's why they are no longer calling set off. Like you, Ayala settlement mention.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so, really, to be honest. You know, maybe, you know, if at a point in your career as well, maybe coming to the national. It's not like you don't want to come to the national team, but like I said earlier, you have to think for you. Maybe the club, Imantara stable in follow. You want to focus on their fight for your place, because if you don't have a place there, they're not going to invite you to the national team. So sometimes players make these decisions. But in the case, I don't know the other four, but in the case was, you know, I was playing in China. So that was how the whole Tom thing started. I met Tom the first time at Olympic at Angola, at the airport. Attending, I think, Sadiu Kamaso. It Olympic new at the airport. And bring a new kontong and everything. After this, respect going, because to Bible book more bring all amal. After the disrespect and everything, bring dunta moto kon janim be futala hotel or fa moto kon mamunyo akonyoko. You know, everything they told me about you is not true. I said, really? It's straight up. Moto kon janim be futala hotel. Everything they told me about you is not true. They told me you're very problematic and, you know, you cause a little bit of chaos in the camp and stuff. But to be honest, you have a great personality from the past 10 minutes that we've just met. And I'm like, I mean, this is Gambia for you. When you are not afraid to speak, then you are a threat to them. Because ni katonya fo ikafole kulubali arroganta. Africa no man love tonya. So I think, you know, I don't know what they told you. I don't even want to know, to be honest. But yeah, this is me. I don't fake it. Yeah. So from there, and then in Tom, we have a very good relation. Sometimes we be having, you know, push and pull in the camp, which is normal, you know. Sometimes I think, and I'm like I said, I will speak. have something to say, because I was one of the senior players in the national team that AFCON. So because we have a senior players group, so nim mitinol keta ning kuman attack I'm good, and then until tata puruka I'm one of the people that are gonna speak, So I was always like, so obviously I knew what mitinol keta ila mol fana melvere ke call keja nenko nyine na nyine diamuta. So it's like, you were constantly being targeted and stuff. But with Tom, he's one of my closest friends, We still keep in touch.
That's so nice. That's so nice of you. And we know you guys we spent a lot of hours from his time. And genuinely, we just wanted to clear all the time and then the doubts that are going on in the media. Because Steve is someone that is rarely you have an interview session with him. So we just wanted to blow everything at a go. Understand? Because there will be na kana table, maybe one of us. So na capitalize at that point in time. Understand? But just to fast forward things, with everything that the system has done to you, understand, as a footballer, in other kind of struggles and everything, why do you decide to come back to the system, not as anything, but now as a stakeholder? You decide, okay, now Metimo and I come into them. Is it that they are challenges?
I think, even after the AFCON, I came again. And I came to prove a point. They said I don't score goals. I came that camp, I knew I was going to score a goal. I remember I told Ibrahim Ajaju Stek, the goalkeeper, that was his first goal, the elevator corner. I barely post before games, like on social media, Kasafeje game day and stuff. And I selfie that on the mirror. Janimbita feel on the elevator corner. Like I can feel it. I can feel it. And when they invited me, some people were saying don't accept the invitation after all the insults
and all the words. Yeah.
I said, yeah. They said I don't score goals. I'm gonna come and score a goal, and then I'll finally take a break.
So after
and then I came back. 90 minutes. We were 0-0 against Chad.
I remember again.
Came in the second half. Came in the second half. Smashed.
If not for you, you will not get the another chance.
And then the return leg was when I got my injury.
Oh.
That was this scar.
Right.
So I think me and Tom connected through this injury, because Birim Baramata, he was the one that's there. Mind you, I got injured with the national team. Not one call.
Thank you. I wanted to come there. That's why I have to break brief.
Sweden, but Ninyim Baramole Tata. So from national team Baramata Walter, but already I signed Sweden. Janin second bring us score first Lego. Janin second Lego, no contract was signed already.
Oh,
so Ninyim Baramota Tata. So in Baramata against Chad, I played 14 minutes. I had the contact. During Baramata, I knew that he was gone. I remember Musabarole Naka Konyako. Ibitano and Nani is gone. Akonyako no Avadimica Nedamabua was Nakamanika. Gako trust me, is gone. I am willing to be loaded and sit up and sing of it and then sit up. So that was the injury with the national team. And not a single call. Apart from Tom Senfield, he was literally checking on me for the whole year. I had the rehab for the whole year. Every week, he's checking on me. I think that was when we connected, like proper time, But none of them from the federation.
I wanted to skip you into both the community as a stakeholder,
but
I think we have to reverse back.
Sacrifice playing for the country because when you get injured, it's not just me. It's a lot of players. No one gives a heck about you. They don't care. So if you make
they just care about, we call you, are you available? Yes, you come
and play. Available, and then, that's it.
That's a sad moment for our federation because, us natural viewers, you understand, Scorpion fans, we like Tom said, Gambia thought we can beat, we can win the World Cup, but maybe we don't know what is inside there. For us, we see our potentials. We see your potential outside. We believe
football is more than that.
Yes, football is more than the potential of the footballers. Let's say before the gym, all the preparation counts. We don't know what you guys go through. So we are like, side deliver ute, ki dutara wala players ite, you mil ni hana naka.
You see?
we don't get to know of all these things that you guys pass through. And this literally, so amute discomforts. Like you cannot play gym for a national side. It's not going to be possible. You're not going to perform. You people are like you guys have sacrificed everything for us. So now let's talk about federation caring about footballers, interpersonal relationship with the ballers. We've seen other federation outside, many along they're not Africans or even some Africans, how they interact with their players. How was the federation connection to ballers when you were there?
I have no relationship with anyone. I know Bax because back at Germany, he's still the vice president of the Banyu, so I played under him. So he's like, he's someone that I know. Like, he's like an uncle, Yeah. But apart from that uncle relationship, it's like, when it comes to football, I don't think I have a relationship with anyone in the federation. They don't know. That's the thing. They don't know how things are done.
Okay.
That's the thing.
So it's like you take an member kidol kumanda crack ikakone kato bam.
I'm
not afraid to say. I'm not afraid to say. You understand? That's the reality. I am not afraid to say.
The thing is, if you don't know something, it's difficult for you to do it.
For you to improve it. So okay, now we're coming in. There's the point in time that after all this is happening, Natal Tata Fali decide, we are done with national side, I've retired from national side. You continue on your career or you even retired. Most of them. Why Neteje you choose to come back? To be an exemplary for others to follow you. And like secondly is, why do you think those that men ke bulo kuala kuora munasabika?
I mean, me a bloku fana nta blame like malong I go through that money like because every player maybe went through stuff as well, but for me personally, it's more than just the federation for me, My vision is bigger than that. For me, I wanna change lives, I wanna help the kids. Because I faced a lot of difficulties, before turning pro because there was no agents and stuff, that the opportunities were so limited. So having the opportunity and the connections outside, I think it's a big chance for me to give back to the community, but also to prepare myself for life after football. So it's a form of investment, but also it's changing a lot of lives. But for me, the primary goal is the life changing.
The life changing. Yeah. Because life after football, you can invest in other sectors.
In other stuff,
you understand? Yeah. So coming back in a system that is completely corrupt, to come there and we don't expect you to go back and do the same thing you're doing. As an ex-player, we expect you to fight the fights, you understand, for the younger ones to be safe. So taking that bold decision to come and do that is a very hard task to do. So let's say now you are in the stakeholder team. We are even approaching election. I don't know if it has passed.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
You have heard about that?
Now, on a serious note, election is coming for sure.
so now, the Gambian football, everyone is campaigning right now and respect to the footballers or the football fans outside there, the content creators that are pushing Gambian football, you understand? Former journalists that we are in the country, outside country now, everyone is trying to enlighten to a point that each of these presidents, they will do a video about their career, how they move it, for people to know, for the stakeholders to know who they should vote for, because they are like the whole nation's fate relies in their hands. Now you will be one of those people that will vote.
Right.
Understand? So how do you see this federation election that is coming? Do you think this is going to be a game changer for us if it is done right way? Or do you think all the candidates, how do you see that?
I think every one of them, have to, come out and tell us what they would do for us if they're in office.
But sometimes it's politics.
Yeah, it's politics, but at least, from Ibm Fokang, you can at least see someone that has a bigger vision than the other, So I've seen, a couple of posts about some of the candidates, I think this week on Gamfu or something. I've seen some posts about them, and I think they're all competitive, you know.
No,
So
I'm not saying you endorse any. I'm not saying you endorse any, but I want you to enlighten in a form of this how impactful this election will be on Gambians if right choices are made, because we understood that then some has a track record, and it's a track record that mostly people look at. So others are there. Their track record is not that much clean. They have been into one or two things. So now you, that is there as a stakeholder, what do you think some of these stakeholders should stop? Because there are allegations that some stakeholders will meet up these people. They will be like, vote for me because I know you, whatever, even they are not doing the right thing for the footballers that are to come. So now you as a stakeholder, now what's your perspective on all that whole narrative?
now, I don't know how other stakeholders operate when it comes to election. I think this is my first election as a club owner. So, but I know obviously no one would come to me and offer me anything to vote for them. So I'm gonna vote according to what I feel like is gonna help Gambian football. That's what I'm gonna do. But you know, my vote alone, obviously it counts, but my vote alone won't change everything. So I think us stakeholders, you know, we know what we are facing as well
That's my second question for you. How is a life for a stakeholder in the league?
It's really difficult, to be honest. It's really difficult because, you know, I think it's why most clubs were up for sale these past 2 years.
Yes,
there were so many clubs that are up for sale because the support financially from the federation to the clubs, you know, is next to nothing, you know. So if you don't sell players as a club for 2 years, maybe you cannot continue. Football is very expensive, you know. But I would say the federation could have done, you know, better in supporting the clubs, whether it's gonna be these allowances that they were supposed to give when you go play in summer or whatsoever, which maybe they don't come. I don't even know, to be honest. I'll have to ask my finance director if they come or not. But maybe they don't, because at some point the funds that were meant to be for the clubs were not coming when I last asked. But I don't even know for another for him now, because you rely on that, you're dead. So it's like there's less support given to clubs, and that is really affecting, because imagine you spend 4 million a season, you win the league, you get 1 million. How can you can win the league for the next 10 years? You're not going to be able to sustain that if you don't sell players. You spend 4, you get 1. When are you even going to get? Where are you getting the 3 million to spend for the next season? Nowhere. You know, there's no sponsorship deals for teams. Which, I mean, some teams like Real Divine, they have official. But that's Real Divine, you know. That's mighty Real Divine. So, you know, there are some clubs that don't have these sponsorship deals, and I think what they rely on was supposed to be the funds from the federation, which are not much. That is, if they are coming on time.
On time, if they are even coming.
If they're even coming. But, you know, it's really challenging. So I think, you know, us stakeholders are the ones that can make the difference at this point, this coming election. You know, if we feel like there's a candidate that we think is better, everyone has their own, you know, preferences. Momo ya mira membe cool change la no yeta yela karje di wala, you know. But, you know.
But for you, have you selected already a candidate in mind?
In mind. Now I'm just you know, with me, I love to hear, like, I want to see. Like,
even after their track records, you have not, like 75% chance of. I'm not saying you pronounce the person out, but in mind that, possibly this person I might give.
Yeah, I might have in mind that, maybe he is the one that is kind of feel like can, you know, change the system or whatsoever. But I would love for you journalists to put them on a TV, ask them questions, we want to know what can you do.
I think that's an assignment for me. From today, I'm
Ask
going
them,
to
like, what can you do? I've seen a couple of posts
about them, what them having
but I want them to sit
speak.
and tell us.
That
If
would
I'm
be-
elected, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna. I don't know if they're doing it. I'm so bad with social media, to be honest. Like
I'll get them to do that, and I'll send you the link. To watch it.
I'll love to see, because from there I can see like your vision, and if it aligns with what I think is the way forward, then you have it.
Yeah. Now to wrap up on that side is, are we seeing at any point in time that Steve might bid for that position?
No, not anytime soon.
No, do you have in mind that, okay, maybe if they don't do it right, if this person that is coming in do not do it right, I might bid for it? Because
I mean, for me, I just
we need ex-players to
yeah,
pick.
that's true. That's true. We need ex-players, to be honest, and there's a lot of them out here.
Well, you're already in the system.
Yeah, I'm also in the system. But if you ask me right now, no, it's not something I'm thinking about. If you ask me right now, it's not something I'm thinking about. I have a very big project going on, and I want to put my all into that.
So now let's.
I know I'm being selfish, but yeah.
So that before you go to your projects as a closing, something to go by, let's look at. We came here, we found almost every Gambian single footballer is here. Now, how's your relationship with Gambian players? Those that you play with, those that you don't play with, and I'm impressed. Like, you've seen everyone shots here. Like, how do you get to link up with most of them? How do you think that players among themselves intercoordinate?
Yeah, I think most of the jerseys that are here, there are some that I played with, but most of them are also the young ones that came after me, like the Musa Barros, the Fode Manes, the Ibrahim Akolis. Most of these kids are the ones that came after me, so the ones that I played with, like Suleiman, Hassan, these are one of my closest friends, Buba and all that. But I have a very good relationship with everyone, to be honest. I'm a very easygoing guy, I mean, I don't have no problems with anyone. Everyone is literally cool. Like
It's just that you have freedom fighter to them.
Maybe, but I have a very good relationship with the players, and like the young kids that I mentioned, most of them, started following. I would say, like, I went to the gym the other day and I met some guy, and he gave some words. He said something. He said their generation, like, he might be in the age of Musa Barrow and these kids. He said their generation, if you talk about a professional Gambian player that people were switching on their TV to watch, was me back then in China. So I would say, I hope I inspire them, these kids. But I would say they all, were looking up to me when I was playing in China. So it's like that form of respect is always been there. Like, all these kids, they give me the maximum respect, and I give it back to them, because respect is, it's earned, So with the older ones, Suleiman Mahal, Hassan, Badamos, he came from the same neighborhood as me. Aliu Fadera came the same from, even though I see people in the internet from Pipeline or Parkwood, I don't know from where, claiming him, but he came from Bundu, right after my house, the next junction. So these are kids that give me the maximum form of respect, and with me, like, I don't have any problems. Like I said, I'm just straightforward. I don't like this, but we move on tomorrow. As long as you acknowledge and apologize, we move on. So I haven't had any problems with any player in the national team. And I think with our group as well, the AFCON told, we were like one big family, we have group chats and all that, so we communicate a lot. Thanks to our captain Da, who was like a proper leader, like someone that makes sure everyone is intact, everyone is, like, I was playing in China, but when we have home games, like, I have the biggest fan base in Gambia. when we are coming out from the stadium, more baby Fintilan and I'll be the last person to cheer up the stadium because I was not the one that is playing in the highest league, but that's because the captain knows how to arrange everything, to get the stadium on fire. So more baby Fintilan and Denga Fintilan Wudo. That's how we go to the warm up. So we have like a good and other players more feel go tell them to play can jang you play can chain last like a finti, because footballers even line up with Cristiano like last the big stars. But with our group we don't have like a big star, like all of us behind Hassan, we were all playing for Hassan to score, and then we don't care. We just happy, for Hassan to score, I think that really helped our group. The oneness was just
amazing.
Amazing.
That is so amazing. I just want to wrap up the things because time is great. Well, you hit on something. My mind just touched on it. That is, you have the privilege to play in this national side. That is the stadium.
Yeah.
Most don't, unfortunately.
Sorry for that.
They are really battling for it.
I feel sorry.
Like that whole scenario, what does it take you? Because I personally told, like I wrote a piece where I said the Federation outgoing went on a TV to say, on a radio station to say like defend themselves. But I was like, if they cannot provide a home match for us until next AFCON, let the footballers not come and represent. But now you as a footballer that was in the system, out of everything now, you know how home game important it is to footballers or whatever. What would be your perspective about the international? I was playing our national games outside.
To be honest, I think I said that like 2 months ago at the field when we played the charity game.
Yeah.
Like I look at the kids and I feel sorry for them because there's a feeling that they haven't experienced there. It's a different type of feeling, So me having the opportunity to play in the stadium, it was like there is not a feeling close to that. Even not going to AFCON or whatsoever. Like just to play in the stadium full capacity. It's like a feeling of its own. So to see these young players that are, especially players like Minte, that are killing it in the tops, level, not having the opportunity to show the people in the ground because not everyone have the chance to watch Minte every weekend on the Premier League and stuff. Maybe Dol Nanama Jibe fan Hanisa because more be man kodo ni sort of Purukata channel or whatsoever Joe. So, players like Minte, they should have been until being in the tower and see and enjoy
that is another thing.
So I feel like they are missing out on a lot, but obviously it's not their fault. I think if the stadium is fixed, it's gonna help us football wise, because even game on in Senegal, you see, Gambian or Jamal Tata, and you see how they supported the boys and they were in the mood playing. It's a different feeling. Near more sort of home.
You can even see when the game against Senegal was coming, it was everywhere. Everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
So, but then our other games will be even in competition league. We should be playing our games, but no one will be talking about it.
Because it's all the way in Kenya, bro. So it's like, people are like. So it's like for young players who now Melman were experienced, I hope that the people that are responsible for the stadium, I don't know if it's the ministry or the federation, I don't even know. But I think that because sometimes federation I don't even know. But I think the people that are responsible, I'm just pleading on them to help these young players experience that feeling, because I don't want them to play for a party among play at the national stadium.
That's what's yeah. All right, no problem. And then this brought to the ending part of the session was a marathon one. I have to, because time is good, I have to close some parts because for you, I know maybe next 2 months you might try to have another part too. But there's a lot that needs to be talked about. You guys have a lot to see, genuinely speaking. I sometimes I say, okay, we are online, we don't have the platforms. Maybe it's only few that are premium, but why not our national TV sometimes call our footballers? It's another level. You understand? We wish those that are watching to subscribe if you're just tuning on. Like you suggest, we're gonna try and have all the candidates
That's gonna help us.
Yeah, we're gonna try and have all the candidates,
no,
and as well.
that not gonna. I saw that there's some. I read today that some stakeholders take money for their votes. I don't know how true it is, but I read it today on the internet.
That's what I'm telling you earlier on. That's what I'm telling you earlier on. Last election there was something like that. So I was like,
I read that.
I hope you know.
I hope the interviews are gonna influence all of us.
No problem, no problem. So now, Arne, what will you be your closing final session, or maybe you can hint us about your project vision along the line, because I wanted to take that as a session of its own, but honestly, you have given us enough. And I go, so I just have to accept the reality that you have given me a good 3 hours of your time. That's a great for me.
When it comes to BST, I love talking about the project. You know, I love that team. It's like not just the business part of it, but everything around it. You know, like going to the field every morning, continually, that was like a totally different feeling for me. You know, at the end of the month, seeing all of them go home with their envelopes is another feeling as well. You know, after 1 year seeing someone signing professional, it's like a totally different best feeling for me when it comes to this business.
So sorry to interrupt that side, you may continue, but just of recent I had a session with one of your player that was Bakari, the one from Bakau. Jara, and then a couple of days ago or weeks ago, I saw his side. The other side is I was like, oh, I wish him so, because his interview with me was so emotional.
He's top.
Yeah.
I love him.
I appreciate your gesture. You really are. You're really impactful.
But yeah, I mean, BST Galaxy is something that I always wanted to do. You know, I always speak to Modu BI. You know, we always, since when I was in China, I always talk about I'm like a club someday, I'm a club someday, because I don't want the kids to go through the same struggles that I went through, you know, whilst I was playing in the Gambia, you know. So I think that's what pushed me. But the vision has been there since being turned a professional. And once I felt like, okay, financially I can do this. And that was the same time I got injured. So I was not playing. I had all the time in the world to just sit, you know, and just analyze and just prepare everything. So that was when we started looking for a club to buy. Luckily, Diva Oil just came, boom. It was like 1-2 days before Ngatimo sang. It was a quick one, you know. I remember, I think Amadou Jata then called, or someone called Diva Oil, they're selling. You know. I'm like, I'll get to it. I'm not that, you know. But I need to talk on our fan, because I thought it was going to influence the price, you know. Well, I think that's what happened in the end, to be honest. But yeah, you know, Nin signing was it for it was a
yeah.
So we started, the negotiation was fast. We told him, you know, the high price so far. I don't know, we started at 1.5 or 1.4. You know, I said right away, no problem, let's do it. So next day, Atenata, you know, the guy, he's a very good guy, amazing guy. Nintata, somehow we talk on the phone always, you know. The guy that owns Diba, where I turned it from? Lamin, yeah. Lamin Diba. Yeah, he's an amazing guy, you know. But yeah, it's business, so I don't blame him. Even if it was me, if Cristiano wants to buy my team, it's going to be a different price.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, a discussion start. So at Nata, and we were supposed to pay, I think that's when he realized that I was the one behind. And all of a sudden, boom, Mark Holkang, he said he's on the way back to Soma. You know, it was like, okay, what's happening? Then, you know, it's like he's on his way to Soma. He has an emergency, which is respectful. You know, when it's emergency, it's emergency. We cannot play control that. So and I just started getting fed up. I said, go, and then we called and stuff, and then he said, so man left now for a different price. And it was like, and that's when but at that point I just wanted to make it happen. Mbabe finalized that alcohol. Then I remember I just transferred the money right away. Someone died, they just withdraw everything, put it in a bag, took my car straight to Soma. finalize everything, sign, and that was it. We started a big project.
So that was a hit for you. It was a jackpot for you.
So project only started all in first year, the first transfer we made was Musa Jata to Slovakia. From there, he went to Finland. Now he's in Sweden.
Amazing.
So, it's been really, really good. And it's, like I said earlier, it's changing a lot of lives, a lot of families. What are going to important? And with me, I'm so connected to the kids. I know literally all of them, their family background and everything, because that's how you can also help the player develop. Because someone that player can see now, abe stress ite malo munekete ite ku imu ebe wudi kakan namba watu malo munebe slow kono. So it's good to have a little bit of an idea about the background, about the background of the players. So there are certain players near what they tata alhamdulillah, finally they can help their parents and all that shit. So for me, this project, I don't think the time will allow us to talk bigger about it, the vision and everything.
And I think maybe if you have a time, you fully open to it, to have a day that it's only going to be special about the project.
The project, we can do that. But so far we've transferred. The last time I was having the speech at the conference center, it was 17. Now I think we are at 19 or something players.
Amazing.
So
because like you said, you are very impactful, and when you know their history and stuff like that, I would have, if time was there or battery, you jump out. But then you would have talked more about the project, because there's even one important part. A lot of people are now, Gambians, people are now saying, why are you selling footballers to some kind of leagues, countries? Those are all points on you people. So maybe if you have an opportunity next time, we can talk about,
For sure. I mean, it depends on your time, but that's a short answer, Gambia is a small footballing nation, so there's always a step, that you have to make a step better than Gambia. So it's up to you as a player.
So maybe you can say a final word to the viewers, then you close by that.
Yeah, to everyone watching, I hope you had a good time. I hope we didn't waste 2 hours of your time on nothing. I hope you enjoyed, and because I actually did, it was a very good interview. I'm really happy to be here today, and I'm saying a big thank you to everyone watching, and of course, go subscribe.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's so appreciative, and like you guys said, we're happy and glad that we have the one and only Steve Terrell, someone that we all fought for. We died to watch his match. I'm sitting with him, right? Like no distance, just beside me, you understand? Grant me 2 good hours of interview time. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. And for those that are watching in, and stay tuned for more interviews. Like it is players' journey. Our dream is to tackle every Gambian footballer professional that has once playing right now, or aspiring to be there, to take them through their journey. And also stakeholders that are into the Gambian sport, that is Gambian football in general, to also have them to talk about their impact on Gambian footballers. Thank you. See you in next episode.